Hi everyone, I'm Shalini here, and I'm the chairman of the WIE student branch of JP Engineering College, and we'll be starting the broadcast right now. Okay, so today I would like to share my experience as how I've been a volunteer in WIE and what I've learned through this journey in IEEE so far. So initially, when I started, I was very eager to participate, and basically it was the alumni members, our seniors in my college, who actually motivated me to participate in WIE and volunteer. Like initially, I used to be very intimidated by people, and I used to have stage fright. But then volunteers, IEEE members, initially in their membership drive, they told us that the main theme in IEEE is to come forth and volunteer. And that's what motivated me to come forward and do it. So in WIE last year in our student branch, we conducted, it was inaugurated in 2012 actually. And ever since its inauguration, uh, women, men and women, both of them have been motivating us to conduct events and encourage women to come forth. So the first event that we conducted was a vocabulary ability test to encourage people to put their vocabulary skills to test and encourage them to learn for their recruitments and help them in their placements actually. And the most significant event that we conducted last year was the WIE Forum, which we conducted in September. And that the main theme for that event was to empower, energize, and emerge for growth. So it was basically a start off to encourage women and discuss the topic of women empowerment and encourage women to come forth. So it was a 2-day event, and we not only had sessions on panel discussions, and we also had an aspect on entrepreneurship. We had Mr. Arjun R. Pillai, the CEO of Profoundis, and Mr. Sijo Kuruvilla George. We also had Mrs. Vaidehi ma'am, who spoke about WIE and the mission and vision of WIE. And apart from, we thought that it would be better to have a mixture of events, not only focusing on serious issues, but also to participatory events where people can have fun. So we had surprise events for all the participants, and we also had a poster designing contest and sketch it, and a short film contest as well. This year, we had an event, the STAR program. We conducted it for nearby government school. And according to me, this was an event which actually transformed our thinking about events and activities. So in this STAR program, the first year students of our college, the newly entered IEEE members, were told to create simple science projects which could be easily taught to the school students. And what we noticed was the first year students were very eager to actually go ahead and create these projects, and when they presented it to the school students, they were immensely happy. They were happy that they had actually made a difference in students, and they noticed that the government school students who had never seen such projects being presented to them, they were very eager to learn about all these projects. And what surprised us the most was the very next day, the school students created projects on their own, and they came and presented to their teachers. That was a very significant moment for us, because we realized that we had actually made a change in the school students, and we had made a change in their how they had thought, and how they had been given a chance to show their talent. And we were really happy that we were able to encourage that and create that environment for them. And now this government school has a science project where many students, again, almost all the 6th grades and 7th and 8th grade students have presented projects, and that we have been, all our students, all the IEEE members who participated in this event are extremely happy and glad and they have realized what change that they can create in people around them. So, okay, so those are some of the events that we have done in our WIE Affinity group. And I would also like to talk about what makes our student branch very unique. So, in our student branch, the alumni members make sure that even when they step out of the student branch, they still support us and guide us through the journey. The significant achievement for WI Affinity Group in our college, especially, would be that men and women equally encourage WIE activities in our college. The men, IEEE members, also ensure that WIE is not sidelined, and they make sure that we conduct activities. And whenever we conduct activities, they encourage us to the utmost, and they have been very significant for our achievements so far. So I would like to, if you have any questions, I would like to answer that. Okay, so why I wanted to be an engineer. Uh, Basically, when you're young, people generally have notions put into you, and they say you got to be a doctor, you got to be an engineer, and things like that. So initially, I had this idea that the stethoscope was the best thing and was the most proud thing that you could carry around, and I was planning to be a doctor. But then, uh, when I noticed, but then in my 10th grade and so on, I had a keen interest in physics. And engineering is a profession where you can actually create things and build things and make a difference for society. I really like that. I noticed engineers creating projects, working on projects, and which actually had a significant change. Like all around me, I could see engineering and science in work, and I wanted to be a part of that. And for me, basically I'm an electrical engineer, and I love creating things, and I have an interest in sustainable energy, and I'm working at a project in sustainable energy. And for me, engineering is more than a profession. Engineering is a part of my life, and I would like to use engineering to benefit the society, and I would like to go to areas and go to rural areas specifically and create projects which can help them. So that's for me, watching people who are not able to apply engineering, and I would like to go forward and reach out to those people and teach them the wonders of engineering. So that's why I became an engineer. So when I started off in IEEE, I started off as a volunteer. I used to regularly attend the seminars in our Madras section, and later on, as I progressed, watching my active participation in the seminars and workshops, my alumni members, the senior members in my college, they encouraged me to come forth and present in front of a crowd. So that was the moment. For most of us, it will be having stage fright is pretty common, and for me, it was common too. But that was my initial stage in IEEE. But right now, I'm in a position where I can talk and address 500 people in my college, and I can tell them these are the benefits of IEEE. And because I myself am an example of how I have grown, and I myself have benefited from IEEE. So I think my life itself is an example of what change IEEE can bring about in you. And I would suggest members to come forth. I would like generally members tend to attend events, but they tend to sit back when they want to volunteer. So I would encourage people to come forth and volunteer, because there are so many volunteering opportunities in IEEE, and we would love to see people like that. So in any, whether in your section or in your region, wherever you may be, definitely you will have an opportunity. Okay, I have a question here from Elba Elbash Mohan Sharma. What does WIE do to encourage girls in high school to enter engineering faculty? Okay. Okay, so WIE has the STAR program, the student teacher and research scientist program, wherein the IEEE members go to the schools. Excuse me. So sorry. So yeah. The STAR program, it is encouraged to uh, make the student members create an awareness about science and tell them the wonders of science. It's to show that science can be fun, and uh, students are given a chance, the school students are given a chance to explore science. And I think that is a wonderful program wherein the high school students are given an opportunity to view the science through a different angle. Generally, sometimes students tend to view science as a very scary subject, wherein it's pretty tedious. But when you show the practical side and the wonders of science and show that science can be fun, then students will definitely be encouraged to come into the engineering field. So WI encourages students through STAR program and other activities by conducting activities in schools to do all these. Okay, there's a question. What is the best advice you have ever received in your profession? So recently, when I met Mrs. Ramlata Marimuthu ma'am, the WIE Madras section chair, she told that she takes things lightly and ignores what is not to be considered. So speaking to her is always a huge inspiration for people like me. And for me, the thing is, go ahead and do it. That's what she said. And I think that's the best advice I've ever got, to go ahead and try out things. Basically, I'm a sort of person who thinks about a million times before doing something. And generally I feel that it's not the ability. I doubt my ability. But as after coming to IEEE, there have been so many people around me who have been inspiring me and telling me that I can do it. So that's the one advice that I've really got, that's got me going all along, to go ahead and try things and do it. Okay, there's a question. How did you learn about IEEE and IEEE and WI? Okay, so once I entered in my college, initially before joining my college, I had to attend a counseling session, and I actually did not know about the college or about IEEE. And in the college website, they had mentioned about IEEE and the achievements that they had done so far. And I found it unique that there was a chance for me to not only learn engineering but also apply engineering. And there was a forum for me to connect with people who had similar interests. So that was what sparked me off. And I deliberately joined that particular college because uh, it, it had showed the activities that it had conducted in IEEE. So I got to know the first-hand information that I got about IEEE was through the college website. And once I joined the college, the senior members, the IEEE members in our college, conducted a membership drive for us. And in that membership drive, they told us that IEEE is an organization where you can network with people and engineers with similar interests, and also it's a chance for you to put forth your ideas, the changes that you want to make and the projects that you want to create. So that was a very significant moment for me to know that about IEEE. And I was present at the WI inauguration, and we had Ramlatam ma'am and also Miss Helen from Singapore, and they spoke about WIE and how WIE had impacted their lives. And that were very key things for us. And it actually made a change to know that there was a chance for women, there was a forum where women were encouraged to come forth with activities. And that was very important for us, and it was very important for me and my friends to know that there was a chance and there was a forum for us to connect to. Okay, so there is a question from WI India. Who's your inspiration? So WI India, I would say that my senior colleague, Salma Saitun, she's a communication coordinator in WI Madras section, and she was the secretary in our student branch. Before, as I was a volunteer, Salma has always been encouraging me to go forth and try out things, and she's also guided me all the way along. And every moment when I have a setback or when I uh, do not put forth my best, she is there to pat me and tell me that it is all right and I can do better than this. She has helped me to discover abilities that I did not know which even existed. Salma is an extremely brave girl, and she steps out and shows that helps us to find out opportunities and volunteer in WI. She is the biggest inspiration for me in WI, and even after passing out of the college, she is still guiding me in participating in WIE and encouraging me to explore the changes that I can make, the opportunities that I can create for my fellow IEEE members. Okay, so I would also like to tell you about one more WIE event that one of the WIE events that we conducted this year. So we conducted a paper presentation contest called Papyrus. So generally in a paper presentation contest, it's just a one-day presentation where people come and present. But this was an innovative idea wherein students were taken along in a step-by-step process wherein first they had to submit their abstract, and then later on we encouraged them to not entirely present a paper as a bulk. Generally we notice that when we give a paper presentation contest abruptly to students, they tend to download papers and they do not take an attempt. They find it pretty scary to take up an initiative and write an entire paper by their own. They find it a very intimidating task, and I guess it is so for many of us. So what we did was, first we told them to submit an abstract. We gave them a deadline to submit an abstract, and we also provided them an opportunity to connect with seniors and professionals who are related to those areas where they are doing their projects. So that was the first step, the abstract submission. Then we had two other submissions wherein they had to report whatever they had done so far. So these two deadlines were to encourage students to not give up, and we were constantly reminding them and encouraging them to write their own papers and not to download papers. So in the first submission we had where they had to partly submit their report, and a second submission where they, after a week later, so that they would have a continuity. So they had a second submission, and finally we had the paper presentation contest. So that was a significant change, so that students can they can go through a process where they can come and they don't miss out on it. They are on track all the time. And we ensured that they were on track, and they wrote a paper on their own. And once the papers were submitted, we we scanned all the papers for plagiarism, and once the process was over, we were glad to know that there were no papers which were plagiarized actually. So once we had finished the screening process, we had the paper presentation contest. So the key thing for us is we learned that encouraging students, members need a boost occasionally, so that they come forth and continue the event or participation in that. One of the important things that we concentrate this year in our student branch is to increase membership involvement. Like when a IEEE member is given a benefit, they are encouraged to participate in workshops, they do so. But volunteering is the biggest value for an IEEE member. So when the member needs to know that they are also valued in IEEE, so you can do so by volunteering. So we encourage students, apart from the Execom team, we encourage other students in all the IEEE members in our college to come forth and volunteer in activities. We have more than 375 members, and so it is actually a tedious task to make every member volunteer, but after the first two events where we had to pull up people, now student members are participating actively in they are volunteering actively in our student branch. So we make sure that for every event there are at least about 10 volunteers who come forward, new volunteers who haven't tried before. There are many people who have stage fright, or they are very eager to volunteer, but they had a little bit of anxiety to come forth and do it. But now there are more and more people who are actually coming forward and telling us that they want to volunteer in events and they too want to conduct events. So that is a huge change that we have seen, and we are sure that that is a very important goal to achieving retentionship. And actually our retentionship has increased and we are getting a good feedback from the IEEE members. Another key thing is, in our student branch, we make sure that we also receive suggestions for events from our IEEE members. We make sure that they are also involved in it, and they also have a chance where they can address and they can tell us whether we are doing it right or wrong. We make sure that we listen to every student member and what sort of events they want to present or what sort of activities they want, so that we can cater better to what, how IEEE can benefit them. Okay, there is a question. How do you get students interested in joining WIE? So, as I said earlier, the STAR program, we made the first year students to create science projects and present it to the school students. So, they were new IEEE members and they had very little awareness of WIE. So, we wanted to give them a first hand experience of what WIE, what sort of impact WIE would create. So, that's why we went forth for the STAR project, so that the newly entered IEEE members know the significance of WIE and what the mission and vision of WIE. So we took them, we as they created the science projects, we had a selection process first where they presented the science projects and we gave them feedback on how they should do it. And later on in the second round, they came back and they presented to the school students. So we highlighted in a practical first-hand experience, we highlighted what WIE will do to them and what changes WIE can bring about. So I think that's the best way to show a student member. Uh, of course, we should enlighten them about what IEEE is and what WIE is, but also giving them a first-hand experience makes them realize that it makes them realize, and it'll stay with them and tell them that no, this is what WIE is about, this is what IEEE is about. So that was our aim. So from now onwards, we are planning to conduct STAR program for the newly entered IEEE members and create awareness about WIE in this practical way, so that they understand and realize the real impact of what WIE is. Okay, there's another question. How do you energize your group year to year and keep the motivation? So the main thing that we concentrate on is that we bring in volunteers from the next year, and we make sure that there is a continuity. Sometimes the one of the biggest problems that occurs in the student branches, first, I mean, in a particular year they are active, and then when if the baton is not passed on properly to the next set of volunteers, then the leadership gets missed out and the student branch falls into inactivity. So in our student branch, we ensure that we work together side by side with the junior volunteers. We ensure that the volunteers are also actively